over my head. I'm in over my head. Overdosing, overdosing, I'm in over my head.
Right, overdosing, I'm in over my head. I say what I should have said. I'm living, it should be dead. I'm coming, you should be scared. I'm coming in, I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone, all alone in the lane of my own. I'm alone, all alone in the lane of my own. I'm alone, all alone. I'm coming in, I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone. Overdosing, I'm in over my head. Taking blunts to the head. Coming, you should be scared. Me against the world, I'm Tupac and with a Glock. Cause I don't wanna go before my time up on the clock. They say when you on the screen, everybody wanna watch. They say, boy, you at the bottom, you'll never reach the top. Heavy hearted, my emotions got dropped. Maneuver with the movement, man, my motion won't stop. Cause it's money over everything. Maybe even you got a business on the side, man. Maybe even two. They all say they love me, but you know how bitches do. Niggas are falsified, and I just remain true. I said, damn. Scheme while getting scammed, my switch is getting grammed. I hate thinking about that bullshit. And the stress, working real hard without resting. OT till I OD. That's right. Overdosing, I'm in over my head. I say what I should have said. I'm living, it should be dead. I'm coming, you should be scared. I'm coming in, I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone, all alone in the lane of my own. I'm alone. All alone, I'm alone, all alone. I'm coming in, I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone. And I ain't talking in the victim sense. Talking, I'm on a whole nother level. This shit in my sense. About my paper in my sense. I want it all, nothing less. You smell success, that's been my set. You fuck me one time, ain't forget, no hate, good shit for falling tears. On deaf ears, you telling stories. Disappear, went down and out, but now found when have the glory category. Bitch made that you know ifs and buts about it. And please don't ever doubt it. Fuck your help, I'm here without it. For real, cause I done made it on my lonesome. With chip on shoulder, chips of soda, feeling like you want some. Can't expect your intellect to see the real if no none. But how the hell you bite that hand that feeds you when there's no one? They gon' come and go, and I know that shit true. Take that picture of Van Gogh so you clearly see who the fuck I am. A giant from my point of view. From skyscraper view, what I do see this few. So I'm overdosing, I'm in over my head. I say what I should have said. I'm living, it should be dead. I'm coming, you should be scared. I'm coming in, I was there. I'm coming, they can't compare. Where I'm going, they never there. I'm alone.
You're on High Tide. Stick with the doc. Yeah, I'm a real doctor. Like Dr. Phil's a real doctor. Shoot.
Want none of T. You don't want none of R. He don't want none of E. Because they don't want it, you don't want it, he don't want it, she don't want it, yeah. I'm going hard, yeah. They don't want it, you don't want it, he don't want it, she don't want it, yeah. I can't be realer than that. They don't want it, you don't want it, he don't want it, she don't want it, yeah. I'm going hard, they don't want it.
Yeah. All right. You're on the High Tide Stick Show. Live with the doc. It's high noon in Colorado. Yeah. About that. So we back in the house. A new day. Yesterday was a hilarious show. Let me just be very clear about yesterday. Yesterday was off the chain. I mean, it was me, Chris, Fats. We had let's see, it was me, Chris, Fats. We had Mr. D, and we was just chopping it up. So anyway, I think it started with a comment from me that I said, and then shit just went sideways from there. From that point forward, shit got real, son. Like, that's the best I can tell you is at that point in time in life, at that moment under the sun, shit got real, son. That's the best I can tell you is that like it got real as shit real quick though. But we had fun with it. I mean, we had a good time on the show. It was a great fun. It was a good time talking to the boys and hanging out with the boys. You know, it's kind of a boys' day on the show, if you would. And so you got some insight. If you all you ladies out there, you got insight into what men really talk about. And so here's where the conversation kind of went sideways. I'm going to play you some audio from that yesterday.
I'm thinking on my man on the set. I wrote this shit in simple. Could you imagine if I was pissed?
Let's try that again.
For real though. You know what I mean?
That's
You
what
can
she
sit
said.
there and yeah, because I've been scuba diving, so I swim with sea lions and dolphin and everything. You know what I mean?
I want to really drop an inappropriate joke right here, but your story is actually legit. But I'm like, I just want to be like, I bet you've been scuba diving. Me too, since puberty.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean? You know, that's called licking the yes button.
Is that what you? Man, hey, for all you ladies out there, it's called licking the yes. Oh no, wait a minute. Let's get around about the town. I'm gonna tell y'all what I call it. Okay, so he calls it licking the yes button. Mr. D, what do you call it?
I'm sorry.
Were you giving that young down low pleasure to your woman?
Yeah.
He calls it licking. What'd you call it again?
Licking the yes button. You got to hit that yes button.
Okay, licking the yes button. So
It
what?
makes them say yes.
It makes him say yes. So what do you call it?
I call it. I put her in. I don't really do too much of the licking, but what I do is I put her in the. It's called the gut blaster 7000. And it make them get sick for that. And it works wonders. You know what I mean?
Oh
you
my God!
You ain't got to do no licking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this is gonna get you everything you need from her. You know what I'm saying? So
see, what I do is I usually when I go down them, I just start humming. Don't go chasing waterfalls. I'm about to make that bitch spray. I told him I'm a nasty nigga. They won't put me on TV because I'll make money. So anyway, so I hope you like surprises. By the way, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna put you onto this right now, young fats. You gotta check. So that and it only got worse from there. You know, let's just say that the conversation was definitely entertaining for us yesterday. It was fun. I mean, for me personally, I was having a blast. But it's always fun to, you know, chop it up with the boys and stuff and have a good time with the fellas. Get a chance to, you know, sort of get on air and cut loose with each other and things like that. And I mean, like I said, we clowned around the whole show and just had a blast. Lots of laughing, lots of fun. We should have Chris here on the phone here soon. It's still early though. He should be calling any minute though. Again, I can't stress enough should. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, it's just what it is. It's part of the business of this is that, you know, sometimes somebody will say, hey, listen, I'm going to be on the show tomorrow with you. And then they can't, for whatever reason, it doesn't work out or they're not able to do it or something comes up. I mean, these guys got families and all kinds of stuff, you know? And so we're not going to hold their feet to the fire over that at all. As a matter of fact, we're going to try to be supportive, and when they got stuff going on, that's what it is. We family too. We got family too. I got kids and everything. So we got family too. And so we know what that's like. I mean, there's no condition to being a parent. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So things like that happen. Not worried about it if you can't make the show. We have lots for the show today. I mean, again, yesterday, hands down, probably one of the funniest shows we've ever had. And that's kind of what happens when you get a bunch of goofballs like us, especially guys like us in a room, and we just started going hard to the paint, talking head. Like I said, it was absolutely comical to all hell. There's no way that if you saw that show yesterday, or if you've watched it on the on demand, that you're not dying. Like, I mean, every time I play this at my other job, people just bust up laughing. They can't get enough of us. You know, do us a favor, share this stuff on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. You know, help us out as well. Again, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna move into the subjects at hand and the topics at hand and work with that. Still waiting for our Michigan insider. If he doesn't call by the first break, then I'll probably call him, and then we'll go from there. But I'm going to get into a couple of subjects here today, of course, that are part of what we got going on. I ain't trying to download a picture of Chris Watkins. We just show his Facebook cover photo. I usually just find if you're a guest on the show, I usually just find a picture of you that is excuse me, I'm sorry, but anyway, I usually find a picture of you that is generally your Facebook cover photo, as long as it's you, or, you know, I'll find a picture of you, you know, publicly listed, so that way it's something that I'm sure you probably wanted. Oh man, I just cracked the Jesus out of my neck. So our first story: Iowa medical cancer proponent dies of, or excuse me, Iowa medical marijuana proponent dies of cancer. And anytime we lose somebody that's part of the industry and the family out here of marijuana and is trying to move the industry forward, it is definitely sad to see them go. Such a wonderful person, a pretty lady. She's very beautiful, actually. We got a picture of her up if you're viewing, but a very beautiful woman. And not only just pretty eyes and literally pretty, but also a beautiful heart and a beautiful soul. She has passed away, and sad to say, this story, of course, coming to us from the mjnewsnetwork.com. Iowa, one of the clearest voice in Iowa, one of Iowa's clearest voices on behalf of legalization of medical marijuana has died before she could see her efforts succeed. Lori Tassin, 44 years of age, dies, of Des Moines, Iowa, was a regular presence, excuse me, at the State House last spring, button holding legislation and testifying about why she and other ill Iowans should have the right to try marijuana. She died Friday of the cancer she'd been fighting for 5 years. Tassin contended that many other medications doctors prescribed routinely are vastly more dangerous than marijuana. This was at a state legislational hearing that she testified this back in February. She unfolded a multi-page insert that came with her chemotherapy drug. The document listed numerous possible side effects of the drug, what she was taking for the tumors that had spread from her lungs to her brain. Tell me that's not pretty scary to look at, she said, holding up a lengthy document for the senators to see. So again, anytime we lose someone, again, like I said, that's a preponderate for marijuana, an activist, anytime we lose someone like that, it's sad in this community, because we are really a tight-knit community. We've all always looked out for each other, and we've all always worked together to try to change the world through legislation. So, you know, right here, right now, you know, we're going to take a moment of silence for her. She'll be missed by so many in the marijuana community, believe me. So moving forward, another little blurb that caught my attention was, of course, this one. And this one really, in this story, by the way, is coming out of Canada, and it's talking about how Canada could really legitly change the face of legalization here in the United States. And so I think it's prudent, because you have to remember that right now, north and south of us, Mexico and Canada are fighting a battle. Okay? To the north and south of us, Mexico and Canada are fighting wars. Mexico has a war on drugs very similar to the United States, where there is, the federales have a division that's very much like the Drug Enforcement Agency here in the U.S. But they're also working on legalization legislation in Mexico. We know this because we've been covering it here at High Tide Stick. High Times Magazine posted something about it recently, if I remember right. And so this blurb comes to us from civilized.life, www.civilized.life, written by Dan Culberson, I believe is how you say his name, Culberson. Oh, Lord. Anyway. It's with Canada, the thing that we may have to worry about. Now, I want to say it that way. I guess that's probably the best way to put it. Is Canada could cause us problems in the US, because the thing is that if Canada's legal before us, I think the problem that we bump into at that point is if they legalize before we do, and definitely a lot more liberal to this, by the way. So, and they're okay. So if they legalize before us, it could force some more conservative northern states along that border to make things more difficult or tighten things down. We don't want that. We don't want to fight foreign policy on marijuana while trying to legalize it here. So I'm nervous about the development in Canada, because it's something that I think that we should be doing first. Clearly we should be doing something first. The blurb says, much has been made about the Liberal Party's recent win in Canada and its promise to legalize recreational cannabis in the country. Okay, so last night, Canada's national broadcast ran an item on its evening newscast that examined what legalization could mean for the country. It's a quick piece worth watching for Canadians, those watching the up-and-coming federal debates in the United States, and anyone living in a state contemplating legalization as well. So the full story we'll post to the High Tide Stick page, of course, for you guys. I'm looking to see if there's video attached to this. Oh, there very well is. Look at that. But is this a video? Oh, no, that's back to the blurb I was on. Thanks, guys, for nada. Okay, well, anyway, I don't see any video on it, but it's, like I said, I am nervous only because, again, I don't want the U.S. to have to fight or debate legislation end of story. I don't want you to have to debate legislation about Canadian weed. It's impractical to me. Oh, excuse me. But how quickly we could see that happen. Whether you realize it or not, the debate could be coming. And it's a real legitimate debate. I mean bona fide legitimate debate. Legitimize legitimate debate. Just kidding. But it is. It's a legitimate debate. I don't know if I want to fight. Like I said, I don't know if I want to fight international drug policy while trying to fight drug policy here at home. It's kind of one of those situations where I go, get your ish straight at your house before you try to fight outside in the street. If you don't have your house handled, how are you fighting out in the street? If you ain't got your home together, how do you have time to be in the streets? My home fell apart, took a break from business, couple months off. Terminated relationships, partnerships, and dealings. Got right back to work. Sometimes you got to do it. It's no different. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to try to get Chris Watkins on the phone. We're going to talk about the recent officer slinging a high school student across the room. If you haven't seen this, by the way, you definitely want to get on YouTube. I just think that it's a brilliant opportunity. I think it's a brilliant opportunity. That's all I'm going to say. It's a brilliant opportunity, I think, to run into getting and addressing the problem in this country. High school kids don't trust or respect police. But why? More on that when we come back. You're on High Tide. Stick with the doc.
Alright, yeah. Bad bitches in my condo. When we get to chillin', you know how it go. Yeah. Hustle hard, get it pronto. Now I'm counting up in my condo. My condo. My condo. I be counting up in my condo. My condo. My condo. I got bad bitches in my condo.
Counting up in my condo, more money than Rondo. Ladies love Armando, I'm always let the bomb blow. Yeah, I got bitches in my bedroom. I'm about to get some head soon. Yeah, boy, I always do my thing, nigga. Hoes a different class, they ain't the same, niggas. I got bitches, what you talking about? They about to meet me at the Waffle House. Then they gon' follow me back to my crib. Look at these hoes that I did. Blunt smoking my eyelids. I feel like candy shop. I got bitches at my crib watching panties dry.
Bad bitches in my condo. When we get to chillin', you know how it go. Yeah. Hustle hard, get it pronto. Now I'm counting up in my condo. My condo, my condo, my condo, my condo, my condo. I be counting up in my condo, my condo, condo, my condo. I got bad bitches in my condo.
Bad bitches all over me. I'm popping hella bottles in the VIP. I rubbed on her booty, then I kiss her neck. She felt on my dick, now no panties wet. Ain't tryna make it last, I ain't keep sweat. I'm all about this money, so don't you forget. Just a boss nigga diamond through the check. Every day I wake up, that's another check. I'm in my condo on the top floor, busting down the bricks straight from Mexico. I be gassing hoes just like Texaco. All in Linux Mall, straight flexing.
Yeah, bad bitches in my condo. When we get to chillin', you know how it go. Yeah, hustle hard, get it pronto. Now I'm counting up in my condo. My condo. My condo, I be counting up in my condo, my condo, my condo. I got bad bitches in my condo. Look, She used to apartments, a lot of polo in my closet. I got more than Carlton. This ain't from the outlet, baby, this from the department. Gassing, I will not be parking. Party, pretty women present. All I had to do was text them, and they was with it totally. One told me to told her, told me take advantage. 50 Shades of Grey, all she did was obey. I be smoking all day, keep money coming my way. Yeah. The shit we do in the condo could get a nigga locked up forever though. Yeah, ask about it, dead, tell it, bro. Mr. D, one of the realest I just see, yo. Yeah, bad bitches in my condo. When we get to chillin', you know how it go. Yeah, hustle hard, get it pronto. Now I'm counting up in my condo, my condo, my condo. I be counting up in my condo, my condo, my condo. I got bad bitches in my condo.
Oh yeah. So that was that hot fire from my boys. That was Mr. D, Scorp Diesel, and Dead Mike on the track My Condo, coming to you from my boy's new joint. The Hope You Like Surprises. He's working on Hope You Like Surprises Part 2 now. Check out Mr. D on Daft Piff. He was on the show yesterday with us cutting up. We got some more audio from that we're going to share with you guys. Before we get Chris Watkins on the phone. If we can. Actually, we should probably get Chris on the phone because he be messing stuff up. But we'll get to Chris in a minute. So here's some more audio from the show last night. And or from the show yesterday. It was in yesterday evening or early afternoon for some of you. Get him on.
All right.
I'm telling you, Oliver, Dead Mike. Matter of fact, shout out to the whole cut gang again. I never forget somebody, but Gaddafi and Dead Mike. Those are the two big homies right there. Mr. D, of course, the other big homie.
Yeah, man. You know, I'll be on.
Oh yeah, Scorp Diesel. How the hell am I gonna forget Scorp? He's gonna kill me for that. You know that, right? Because Scorp, funny enough, is actually the first one that I met out of all of you guys. I had him. He came out and I think he did a show. He came out to one of the shows that I did and performed real early on at the old school when I was still back fucking with KG Classic.
Hey, Trey.
Yo,
I just read something right now, and since we're on the radio, I'm gonna shout out my cousin and vice versa, because he just said some of the realest shit I ever fucking read on Facebook. This nigga said, I'm from an era where we didn't have area codes. Presidents was always white men. Weed was illegal and gangbangers was feared.
That's some real shit.
Now that right there is definitely somebody from the 80s. Yeah.
Hey, if you was born in the 80s, like I'm telling you, like my parents bought me it was a brand new San Antonio Spurs like shirt and all these and some nice new shoes, and I was scared to walk to school and home with them.
Yeah, because you didn't want to want taking it.
In like 5th grade, like on some real shit. Like I grew up in, that's why when these kids talk about, oh, they from the, I'm like, nah, man, you didn't get jacked for your shoes. There are a few neighborhoods left where people really don't call the cops, and you have to fear calling the cops.
Yeah, you tried to.
Yeah, like
if you tried to jack me, my family is too deep. At every school I've ever went to, you tried to jack one.
I wasn't lucky like that. I was on solo dolo 90% of the time because we traveled.
See, yeah, that was the difference. You know what I mean? There's generations in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? From my grandmother moving there in the 50s. You know what I mean? And from the 50s. You know what I mean? From the 50s until now. You know what I mean? My family is embedded in Long Beach and Compton and all the other areas.
So you're like a Mexican town in Colorado. Everybody related. Only that's the neighborhood. Mr. D, Mr. D, you grew up on the south side of the Springs, right? Didn't you go to Sierra?
Yeah, I did, man. I graduated from Sierra in 2004.
Okay, so you was in there with you was in there like right around when Rick. You went to school with Ricky.
Rookie. I don't know.
RDP. So, and I mean, we go on and on. I mean, we really get into it like 10 minutes down the road or something like that. It's pretty funny. And we'll get you some more of that. Right now, we want to get Chris on the phone and see if we can get old Christopher. So, let's see. As a matter of fact, where he at? I laugh when I tell you guys, call me at this time. You know what? Let's put him on blast while we calling him. I tell these guys all the time, call me at this time. And it's an exact time. I mean, literally an exact time. And don't half these son of a beep ever call at the time I tell them. Let's see what Christopher up to. Oh, his phone's busy. That's weird. Only because you'd have to be on a conference call for it to come up busy. Ooh, I wonder if he's in trouble. Oh, there we go. All right, let's see if we can get to Watkins.
What up?
What up, sucker fish? What are you doing? Oh, I swear if this is a voicemail, we're going to leave him a horrible voicemail. Is this a voicemail or are you really there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was like, I swear if he has one of those stupid voicemails, I'm going to kill him.
Leave a tone.
So, Chris, we got Chris Watkins on the phone. I was telling the listening or future viewing audience, I was like, this guy and me and Fats and sorry, I'm Mr. D. So I'm high, nigga. But anyway, Mr. D, we was cutting it up. That's probably one of the most funny episodes that I've had in a long time.
Yeah, that was a riot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a blast. We had a good time. So
for sure.
I'm ready to get started on this story that you and I have been we've been talking a little bit on Facebook about it and stuff, and but I'm interested to get your take. So the story kind of has continued to develop, but this much we do know is that the federal government has opened up a civil rights, like basically a civil rights violation case against the officer in question.
Good.
And so that's kind of where the story is right now.
You know, I was really wondering what was going to go down, whether the parents were going to try and civilly sue him or what the deal was.
Right.
But I'm glad the state has stepped in and realized that there's definitely wrong stuff going on when things like this happen.
Wow. I cannot see. I have a daughter that's my daughter, like my biological daughter, and then I have two stepdaughters, and I always think to myself when I see stuff like this, I try to, put myself in those shoes, if you would. And one thing I can tell you is that I know that if my daughters had been put in that position and had been treated that way, I don't, there's a point that I'm watching the video and the girl's actually just sitting there. Okay.
Yeah, not doing anything. Not doing a thing.
Yeah, and like she was being disobedient, but on the flip side, she literally wasn't doing anything like provoking or anything other than just being defiant. So and that's when I question, like, okay, dude, like, at what point is this not okay?
Right, exactly. They need to train these officers more on how to react to things like this, where children or even just people in general are basically silent and non-responsive to their commands. You know what I mean? There was no call for that officer grabbing that child that way and physically doing what he did.
Right, and I think that's the issue at hand here is when we talk about, it's not the fact that the officer was even involved in attempting to discipline the student. It's the excessive use of force that's in question here. And for anybody who is viewing this at this time, if you chose video and not only audio type thing, you're going to see the video right now. Well, no, you're not, because I gotta actually switch screens. But I'm gonna put the video up here, and we're gonna play it on YouTube, and you guys be the judge of this. So, and you've seen the video. See, he throws her back out of the, like he tries to lift her out of the thing. He throws her down. The table goes flying. She goes down, and he throws her across the room. Now the video that I got, I don't know whose YouTube account this is, but I got it. But the video itself is from the BBC. There's two different angles though, because it's from two different cell phones. The one that I tagged you in.
Yeah.
So you see him like toss this kid and then jump on her and like that, sort of a hog tire type thing, and she's
It's called an arm bar.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't get that one out. But yeah, I mean,
and I never took risks.
It's absolutely inappropriate. Like I said, with having daughters, I'm going like, man, I would want to kill me a cop if you put your hands on my daughter. Okay, now if my daughter's throwing punches at your face and you got to put her down, that's a different story. At some point, I have to be not just a parent and be like, okay, you hit a cop, you're gonna get jacked up. Don't do that. But when you're just sitting there being defiant and he tosses you around like he's your dad beating the shit out of you behind closed doors, way inappropriate.
I would have a totally different opinion on that video had the child been aggressive towards the officer.
Agreed.
But with the child just being defiant by not responding to the officer's command, gave him no right to physically get her out of that desk and drag her out of the classroom.
And I think that's my problem with the situation is that, again, we're not debating whether the kid was being defiant. We're not debating whether the kid was being a pain in the butt, all that good jazz. What we're debating is the fact that this is a child, a high school student, a senior, so she might be 17, 18 possibly. It's early in the school year, so she's probably 17. And he snatches her up and tosses her across the room. And then, furthermore, he arrests the friend for sticking her. I mean, he literally tosses her a good 5-6 feet easy.
Yeah, and he arrested the girl's friend just for opening his mouth.
And that's the thing is like this isn't just an excessive use of force. This is abusing a child. I mean, if you're a parent and you get caught on video tossing a defiant kid like that of your own, you're gonna get arrested. I mean,
right,
am
exactly.
I wrong?
No, absolutely not. You're totally 100% right.
And that's my concern right there is like I'm sitting back going, well, am I wrong? But if I did that to my own daughter, I am probably going to jail.
Oh yeah, there's no question about that.
And the thing is, I don't think for 1 second that the police department there can be fair and impartial at all.
Yeah, right. I can't believe that the police department didn't step in instantly.
Yeah, me too. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, by the way. It's at, of course, High Tide Stick the show, at High Tide Stick for all you nerds that use the @ sign like me. But anyway, so I don't know. Every time I watch this video, I'm really disturbed by this.
Yeah, I have 2 biological daughters of my own.
Right.
Plus, I have 2 stepkids.
Okay, so you're like
that
you
are
got babies
that are
on
girls.
babies.
So yeah, well, yeah, you know, I'm that kind of guy. You know, if I'm with a woman and she's got kids, I'm not going to treat those children any different than I would treat my own two.
Good for you. That's how I feel too. Good for you.
You know, because they look up to me. You know, they depend on me to make sure they're okay, to make sure that they have food, shelter, clothes on their backs, a decent education, a safe place to get an education.
Right.
And then
I think that's the key operative too, is a place to get an education. You look out for them, you're a provider. So of course they're going to look up to you. And you know, me, I always tell people I break up with women. I don't break up with kids.
right, right.
That's not
Just
fair to
because,
them.
right, just because you and their mother or father, be whichever, you know, you guys don't see eye to eye in your relationship doesn't mean that the children that you were around that know you should be jeopardized because of, you know, your true differences.
Agreed. I mean, fully agreed. It seems like I tell people is having stepdaughters and you know, I've never had a stepson, but I've had like, gosh, I'd say probably 3 or 4 girlfriends that have had sons, maybe even 3 or 4 or 5 girlfriends that have had sons. And I can tell you that it baffles me, I guess is the word I would say. Yeah, I'll go with baffles. It baffles me when people don't just love the kids to death. Like I'm all of them. I mean, that's one of the things that I think I'm like notoriously known for just being like a big old goofball. And I really do love kids to death though, man. I do. I don't know. It's just they're our future, man.
You're a
On
kid
some
at
real
heart.
shit. Yeah, well that too. I mean,
Right.
I get caught up in
Yeah.
arguing with them and everything because I'm a 5-year-old. Yes.
Right.
Like I've had a couple of ex-girlfriends go, "Why do you argue with them?" And I go, "Because they're wrong." And they're like, they're a kid. And I'm like, "Me too."
Right. Yeah. And you know, with all the things that are going on in this country today, that's the last thing we need is a rogue officer going in. What do you think all those kids in that class think of cops now?
Well, right. And I mean, and that just right there's like one of the suggestions that had been made was whether you were going to physically remove her from the room or not, you should have cleared all the students out of the room before you did it and just kept officials in there.
Right.
And then
Right,
also,
the
you shouldn't have hip tossed her across the goddamn room either.
In the desk at that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Because
that kid's going to get paid. I don't care. That kid's going to get paid.
Oh, yeah. He physically grabbed her wrist, rotated her arm. Her and the desk went backwards, upside down, and then he proceeded to drag her out of the classroom.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. Like I said, I showed the video on here already once or twice. I mean, but it's absolutely horrendous what happens. I mean, I'm like, oh my god, is this really going down?
Right. I mean, he might as well have shot her with a taser.
Fair enough.
I mean, you know, would that have been less damaging? Maybe.
Oh, 17-year-old kid tased by cop because she refuses to leave the classroom over cell phone. I don't like that headline for public relations reasons. I really don't.
Well, I don't like the headline that it has right now.
Well, fair enough. I mean, damn it.
Well, I mean, really, if you break it down, what really would have been the difference? Either way, they were both wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean the kids like, and that's one thing I don't want to have every kid in the country being defined towards peace officers that are at least in a sense of rationality in the right. I don't want that at all. Actually, no, not at all. However, let's get the however part in there, right? However, I also don't want cops going around thinking they can just treat people like shit.
Right. And I think there are too many out there that think they're above the law. They think they can do whatever it is that they need to do to get their job done, when if they just step back and use their brain for a second, they might get a whole different type of outcome.
And that's the gist of it is you just might get an entirely different outcome. And then to flip it over, what's the worst thing that can happen? Are you seriously, I mean, You might have to walk her out, because I think that the impact of removing the other students would have been like, you know, kind of like a shit just got real, son.
Right, right, exactly. If you cleared out that classroom, that child would have thought, whoa, what's going to happen next?
I think that I mean, not that I think that the ultimate goal should be intimidation, but I have to agree that I think the intimidation factor would definitely have been there, as far as like I said, like they just cleared out the classroom. They've removed all students. There are only faculty members and a cop in here. Like shit is
I'd have
real.
been worried. I'd have been worried.
And I think
You know,
that's
as
fair.
as a 17-year-old kid, or you know, just being a kid in general, I'd have been like, well, why are they taking all these kids out? Why is the cop still here? This ain't good.
Well, I mean, exactly, and I think that that's the downside to like that. This whole situation is like it was just from. I can guarantee you, this guy came in with a chip on his shoulder. I think that if we can find out if we can interview and find out what his life was going on in his life prior to the incident that day or even that week, he probably was in a piss poor attitude. Let's not to say that we're probably going to find out a hell of a lot more about this student's track record at this school too. So, I mean, is this someone who he's had incidents before? And let's not forget, he's already been sued once for excessive use of force. Now, the jury sided with him, but the case seems a little damning to me. Like, I mean, you get the right kind of jury on your side and you're going to beat the case, which is BS,
sure.
because it doesn't define. All it is who made themselves look better with this certain group of 12 or 6 people. That's the problem
Right.
with the jury. It's not even about who's right or wrong. It's who can make themselves look better. That's one thing I love about murder cases that are found on DNA and evidence and not just probable cause.
And you know, you shouldn't be able to be prosecuted on probable cause alone.
No. If you can't provide, like, you know, witnesses and actual physical evidence to prove that I've done what I've done,
That's
how
all.
the hell? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
I mean, bravo to the police that I've been charged by, because at least they had evidence proving I had done what I had done.
Yeah, well, whatever happened to guilty beyond reasonable doubt?
I don't know, because we're one of many countries, actually, weirdly enough, but we are one of many countries that do have the guilt, the innocent until proven guilty clause, but incarcerate people until they're found innocent. It's an oxymoron within our own legal system.
Big time. Right, big time, because
you're presumed innocent until found guilty. And why am I in jail?
Right. Well, you're put in jail almost instantaneously. So, am I guilty already? I didn't get a trial. I didn't get to see a judge.
Just like and the thing is, that's really well, it's a felony. It's not a misdemeanor. No, you know what? F that. Felony or not, unless I'm a threat to someone, because I can understand locking someone up after they've committed violence. You know, if they just beat the shit out of somebody, yeah, it's probably for the victim. Okay, let's go victim rights, right?
Right. Yep.
But if you get busted, even with a pound of weed, you don't have to go to jail. It's a nonviolent crime. Right. I'll see you in court. Here's your summons to appear, just like anything else. No, but the legal system's turned into this big revolving door of money. And I mean, just think about how much money like bondsmen make and how much money that the state gets off of you from you posting bond, because that 10% down deposit or 15% deposit wherever you live, you don't ever get that back.
Right. No, that goes straight to the court system.
That's why I don't have a damn turntable anymore, because I had to pawn the damn thing to get out of jail. Well, I mean, somebody got me out and then I had to pawn the damn thing. And long story short, money was tight. Let's get out of that. But we'll get some new ones. But I'm just saying, like, you basically took my means of employment. Now, you know, one could be the what do you call it? The devil's advocate and say, well, you know, you shouldn't have been doing what you were doing in the first place, and then you wouldn't be putting what you had at risk. Well, okay, fine. But until you
still have to prove them.
Yeah,
I'm guilty of it.
You haven't proven anything yet, though. I had to go to court and plead to it because I didn't want to go to longer. Anyway.
Exactly.
I don't want to get into it because it still stings. I'm not going to lie to you. I know within it what I was doing wrong, but I know it's not it's a conversation for offline. God damn it, it's that simple. Well, I mean, I've already pled guilty, so I'm not going to incriminate myself any worse than I already have. But what I'm saying is that they made me out to look like some freaking
low-life, dirty piece of shit.
Well, not just that, but like so much worse than that. Like at one point in the docket, they tried to make me look crazy, and I literally had to turn to my lawyer and go, "Listen, tell them this, so they understand that there's an actual practical reason." Okay, here's the deal: is they told the complaint the complaint against me stated that I was arguing with a light pole.
Get the fuck out.
I'm dead serious. And so here's the real story. Here's the best part. Here's the real story. The real story is that if you were there was a camera attached to the light post. And I was actually getting it was at dawn. And if you know anything about filming, dusk and dawn are the best times for lighting. Yes. Because the sun isn't directly on you. And so anyway, and you also sometimes you get that orange hazy glow, and it's real good for video. So anyway, so I was actually testing the lighting at sunrise in that exact location for a music video. They put in the docket that I was arguing with a light pole.
Because you were rapping.
Exactly. I was going through the lyrics, just goofing off. Well, I figured I might as well get a verse in if I'm going to check the lighting and then, see what it looks like. And hell, if it's good enough, I might even just keep it and doctor up and edit the video up and just keep what I already had anyway. Either way, neither here nor there on some real shit. And so they tried to make me look crazy, and it cracked me up. I told my lawyer, I said, look, I don't mind pleading to this. I don't mind copping to the charge to keep myself out of jail. I don't mind doing this. I don't mind doing that. I ain't saying no names. I'm just saying me and myself and I, and that's it. Oh, and one more thing. Can you please address this whole arguing with the light pole thing, because they're making me look like I'm crazy? And I said, what? And then I told her what happened. And so she goes, I just went on the record that he was not arguing with the light pole. He actually had a camera fixed to the light pole and was actually shooting video facing back at him. And the light pole was the only thing that was a stationary object tall enough to fasten the camera to.
Right.
Now, if I'd have been out there with the damn tripod, what would you have said?
Well, they got a lot of arrests to make if they're going to arrest people for talking to light poles and shit like that, because I've seen half a dozen people walking down the street talking to the fucking air.
Man, there is a legendary dude in Colorado Springs. He's a legendary bum. Every city has a few of those legendary homeless guys, right? We're talking epic legendary homeless guys. Like even Newport Richie had a legendary homeless guy when I first moved to Florida that I was told about that actually got hit by a car and killed. Dana told me she used to give him money. Sad. She even saw it on a chat on Facebook. I was like, oh, that's our bum. Well, in Colorado Springs, there's a legendary bum. He's a black guy, real stocky, and he's always out there shadow boxing, talking about something crazy or getting ready for the fight of his life.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I don't know if he is completely normal. I don't know if he's on meds, or I don't know if he's on crack. All I know is everybody knows who he is, and he stands there and he talks to himself, and he shadow boxes about all the troubles and times ahead.
Right. And he ain't hurting no fucking one.
No. I went by one time, I was like, I see you. I was like, I see you, bro, getting it. And I put my hands up, and he pity patted both of them, like, pop, 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 got him cooked. I was like, that's what's up. He puts his gloves up. I tapped him a couple of times and took off. Dude's cool as hell. But he's crazy. I promise you he's crazy, though. I don't know why, but anyway, so I do got a legit marijuana story for you, by the way. Hello? Did you say okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So here's your legit story. And for anybody, when you view this, I like to put up the pictures that they use for their story, but here's a picture, just like a marijuana pill bottle dumped over with weed. And just for the record, the size of that bottle and the amount of weed, I can tell that this is doctored. Okay. Because that much weed don't fit in that little pill bottle.
Yeah.
Some of the nuggets, bro, are bigger than the opening of the pill bottle. So, yeah, now that we've critiqued the effing hell out of this picture, let's get into the story. So the headline, and this is from High Times Magazine, written by our good friend Mike Adams. who we use a lot of his stories because he usually does a lot of the legal legislation or law stuff. But anyway, federal court. U.S. government is breaking the law by interfering in medical marijuana. And the gist of this is while the DA has made no apologies for its liberal interpretation of the 2014 congressional amendment that was supposed to prevent federal government from going in full-blown and full-blown seek and destroy missions in medical marijuana states, a federal judge in San Francisco has issued a landmark ruling that could severely neuter these bad boys and their dogs, if you know what I mean. They're about to cut the nuts off of them. On Monday, a U.S. District Court judge named Charles Bayer slapped down the DEA with a verdict damning the agency for continuing to bust down doors of medical marijuana community members, even when an amendment attached to last year's government budget prevents such action from happening. Remember, we talked about that story. So even when an amendment, or excuse me, I'm sorry, I just read that. Sorry, I read the same line again. My bad. The decision, which is reportedly to be the first of any kind by a federal judge to stand up for a state's medical marijuana law, it argues that, and I might mess this up, but Rohrabacher and /Farr amendment, and that's, I believe, the name of the attorney and the client, or both attorneys, from the amendment that went through in California. It says clearly, or I mean the federal amendment, this says clearly prevents the Justice Department from spending money to crack skulls in states that have established medical marijuana programs. And this was really put in act to stop the state and federal government from stepping on each other's dick, because most states were pissed off. Like, you can't come in here fucking with our shit because these people came here and got licensing at government offices that are state government offices here, and now the federal government's supposed to also put this, in play and said, hey, if the state says it's okay, we're not going to fuck with them. But this clearly indicates that they are fucking with people.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And see, we don't have too big of a problem like feds here in Michigan, but like the state has a notorious habit of saying, well, it's federally illegal.
Oh, so okay, so in Colorado, the state will actually stand up for you a little bit, and they will not provide any tactical or assistance to anyone who is operating within the scope of the Amendment 64 legalization law, or I can't remember the name of the other one for the medical marijuana, but if they're inside the Medical Marijuana Act, or if they're inside Amendment 64 and they're legally in there, the state will provide no tactical surveillance and or warrants. They won't help issue warrants on a state level for any help or assistance whatsoever.
Well, see, here they made it a profit to bust caregivers.
Of course they did. Fuck, they've been doing that since they prohibited weed, pretty much.
But see, here's my problem. It's become 1,000 times worse since we passed the law in 2008 here in Michigan.
I'm not surprised.
It was almost better when it was illegal.
You know what's funny is the money was better.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? The prices and the market have gone to shit.
I was getting about a pound of dodo back then. I could get a pound of dodo for probably in the ballpark of like 3,500 to 4,000, right in that ballpark. Okay.
Right.
But I could double my money easily. Okay. No. I can get it way better now if I get it from Colorado, I go back to Colorado and get a pound. Not that I would do that, just so you feds know I'm not an idiot. I'm trying to open a licensed marijuana business in Florida as soon as the law changes. So I'm not going to do anything that's going to, prevent that from happening. Anything more than I've already done, because I'm still a fuck up in some ways, but I'm not going to do anything more than I've already done to screw this up, because I have a knowledge of growing that would blow some people's minds. And because of that, there are people out here that already want to invest in a business with me. But like I told you, Chris, I'm going to be a silent partner. I don't want to be named on any of the businesses. That way, later on down the road, they don't mess with anybody because of the mistakes that I had made, which I've learned from. And we'll just call it that.
Right.
But anyway, so with this said, so in Michigan, they sort of turned their back to the public and looked the other way as feds run by them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not going to fly. So I'll tell you what, earlier this year, a spokesman from the Justice Department told the Los Angeles Times that the amendment only prevents the U.S. government from impeding the ability of the states to carry out their medical marijuana laws, but does not protect medical marijuana community from prosecution. And I think that that's almost like that's sort of like your dad doesn't ground you for C's, but your mom does.
Right. Right.
I mean, we got to have one hand washing the other there. They both have to be on the same page. You can't say that it's wrong to bust me and then turn around and say that it's okay to prosecute me. You can't interfere with me doing business. So okay, so get this then. And I hope I don't give the feds a way to go mess with anybody, but I'm sure they do this anyway. You're not allowed to interfere with my business because that's a state law. So you come and you arrest me at home after work.
Right.
You see?
Like here though, they come and arrest you right at work. They don't care.
See, you guys got a bad problem there. And to think that, if you really want to know about a problem in Michigan, let's talk about illegal gun smuggling to Canada.
Right.
For cocaine brought back in. Let's be real. Let's talk about a major presence of northern southern border, whether it's cartel or backwood, bearded bros from Canada. Either way, there is definitely a pipeline of guns to Canada through Michigan, Minnesota, and every other border state.
Right. How about the ecstasy and other drugs that are coming through the Canadian border?
Well, shit. How do you think we pay for it, bro? We hand them guns. This is a commodities business. People don't even exchange cash half the time in these businesses. That's what a lot of people fail to understand. Unless there's a broker in the middle, there's almost never cash exchanged. Yep. Here's $10,000 worth of guns. Here's $10,000 worth of pills. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Go make money.
Right.
It's that simple.
Yep. Did you happen to catch that post about the Indian tribe?
Are you talking about the one where they're going to be able to, they can open up a pot shop right now because the federal reservation land is not actually federal. That's just what it's called because it's federally protected. It's theirs. They can do what the fuck they want with it. That's why there's casinos there with no federal permits.
Right. But they're trying to make sure that the feds are not going to come in. They're worried about it.
They can't. I'm telling you, there's something. There's something. I can't remember what it is, but there's something. Just like alcohol's prohibited on the reservation, right?
It's like an ex parte.
Because they made it that way because the chieftains back then were really concerned about the level of alcoholism amongst natives. You know what I mean? And like anywhere else, you could fight that. You could fight the tribal council anywhere else. You cannot fight the tribal council on the reservation.
Right. They didn't want. They knew when the white man, we'll put it like that, or the English people came over to the States and started taking land and whatever from them, that they brought problems other than just diseases and colds and things like that, because they seen the alcohol. They knew what it was already doing to them. They didn't want it to happen to their people.
I think it's amazing that we don't there's just not more study done on that. But anyway, it is actually time to go. It's 3:00. So we're going to get out of here. Chris, we'll talk again soon, of course. Thank you for being on the show, bro.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
All right, sucker fish. Peace out, man. I'll see you later, bro. Peace. So that's my boy, Chris. We got to get out of here. I almost lost track of time. But that's the kind of the conversations and the in-depth conversations that we have on this show, is that we absolutely just get going on topics conversation. Sometimes we lose track of time. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. Like I said, again, we're going to move on to the I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We're moving on. That's the best I can say to you is we're moving on. But anyway, again, enjoy a little more of Mr. D. With his new joint. I hope you like surprises. Here's Wasted.
I'm so over talking about it. I showed you love and all you ever did was doubt it. We keep going back and forth. I can't do this shit no more. That's one thing I know for sure. I no longer will be yours. It hurts, but I'd rather be sore. I'm hers, but I'd rather be yours. You said you'd be there for sure. Forever never seems so short. Now you after child support. You know I support my child. Damn, this shit is getting wild. It's so hard to force a smile. I'm dying. And all the time I wasted on you. And now I hate you. I can't fake it. I can't take it. It's frustrating why you make me fall in love. All for what? All for nothing. All for nothing. Yeah. And all the time I wasted on you. And now I hate you. I can't fake it. I can't take it. It's frustrating why you make me fall in love. All for what? All for nothing. All for what? All for nothing. All for nothing. Yeah. Look, and all the time I wasted on you. But to find out you was faking on me. Tattoos getting covered up. Goddamn, what the fuck is up? Ain't my name on your necklace. I guess we learning our lesson. Why we both still stressing? It's so hard to exit now. Stubborn and we both think we should win at every